credit to Michigan, they are wrestling hard, and they had a couple of close calls, couple takedowns that almost went their way. So you got to give them a lot of credit. So definitely for Penn State, can't get complacent. It's 21-3. It's easy, to see going against a 1-12 Michigan State team. It's easy to see if you're a Penn State fan or a wrestler to kind of lean back and say this one's already over. But Michigan State, they're fired up coming out of these last 5 matches. They're going to come out with a lot of intensity. Penn State keep that intensity up these last 5 matches. We'll see.
The Nittany Lions lead 21-3. They're undefeated so far this season, ranked number 1 in the nation. Michigan State comes into this matchup 1-13, and they trail already. Big deficit, down 18 points. Morelli, a junior for the Nittany Lions. Vettese, a redshirt sophomore.
Really, 165, Brandon, is the weight that's been the most inconsistent for Kale Sanderson and this Nittany Lions squad. A lot of rotating doors between Morelli and Rasheed. They've really been going back and forth, and neither of them have been able to supplant themselves as the #1 wrestler for this weight. So interesting to see going forward, so as Big Tens are coming up in a couple of weeks, and then Nationals as well, who is going to be the guy at 165? Because by this time you would think that Sanderson would have thought that he would have had his guy already, and right now he still doesn't. That's why you saw Rasheed yesterday wrestled, did get a win, and now tonight you see Morelli going in the second bout in the back-to-back matches. And
I think for this Nittany Lion team that is really stacked, so many just very talented wrestlers, the 2 weaknesses are there's at 165, like you just mentioned, and then the only other weakness is really at heavyweight, which they've had a tough time really finding their consistent wrestler, whether it's been injuries or what the case has been, but that's another thing to look out for.
So they did get Nick Neville's back yesterday, so that's something to look for if you will wrestle again in back-to-back nights, returning from injury last night. But even at 165, Morelli and Rasheed, just 2 completely different styles of wrestling. Morelli's still very, very defensive, not really going to score a lot of points, but also doesn't really open himself up for a lot of points, where Rasheed, he is more of aggressive, is going to score a lot more points for you. But at the same time, he also exposes himself, and he has a tough time staying conditioned for all 7 minutes of wrestling. You do see, we saw last night against Lehigh, that 3rd period, he had to hang in there and barely escaped with the victory because he was exhausted by the time the match ended. So it's made another reason why that Sanderson went with Morelli today. You don't want to tire out Rasheed on back-to-back nights.
1:15 left to go in this first period. It's Morelli and Vitesse working on the mats. Neither wrestler has any points to their name and no riding time yet either, so both working on their feet at the center of the mat, just fighting for some kind of control. Less than a minute left now in the first period.
And Morelli, he tends to wrestle his best against the best. Earlier this season, we were there when the BJC, when they wrestled Wisconsin, fell in the last-second takedown by Isaac Jordan, who's ranked number 3. He had the lead there, and the last-second takedown got Jordan the win. And then a couple weeks ago, they're in the BJC again against Jordan's cousin, Bo Jordan, and he lost 3-2, who's number 2. So Morelli really wrestles his best against the best. We'll see if he can keep it up tonight.
So a stall warning was called here on Vitesse. The Michigan State coach is extremely unhappy with that call that was called when the wrestlers were at the center of the mat. And now Morelli almost caught there for a pin, and these coaches, again, extremely unhappy as Vitesse is in total control, but no points yet. 5 seconds left to go in this first period, and head coach Tom Minkle is really walking onto the mat now. He is just beside himself, extremely unhappy with the officiating in this 165 bout through 1 period. No points yet for either wrestler.
So Morelli almost got caught there. He almost pinned himself. As now you see Minkle is going to go to the challenge now. I see, or at least trying to ask the referees what they saw and why that wasn't some points there for the Spartans. But Morelli, I mean, he has to watch himself. Like I said, a defensive wrestler, but he was trying to do maybe a little too much there, as he, like I said, almost pinned himself and almost lost himself the match.
It was awfully close, as the officials will look at the monitor now. Both wrestlers to their benches. And honestly, we're sitting right beside them now. Tom Minkle was beside himself, almost walked to the center of the mat, really.
You see Vitesse there getting good body position, getting both legs there. And you see just really turned over, and you see already one shoulder blade is down for Morelli, and he almost got the second one down for a second right there. interesting to see what the referees decide to do. It looked very close, Brandon.
It's awfully close, and that might just be enough. You know, at the very least, he has to have some kind of near fall points coming his way. The officials certainly taking their time. Both wrestlers just strolling the mats now. The officials really taking an extended look at this.
You see Brandon again, just a close call right here. Still, they say both in neutral, so neither had control. It's interesting to see what they decide to do here on that. Almost tragic if take one more look now at this replay. Did Vitesse have control enough for a takedown is what they're challenging now. Excuse us as we get the replay correct here. And you see, it's close enough. Did he have control near the end of the period? It's going to be a tough call there for the referees. We, at least, were a little mistaken there, but definitely a tough call.
You know, that's two calls, though, because for both of them, Coach Tom Minkle and the rest of his coaching staff were awfully frustrated with the officiating. And the second that first period ended, Minkle was right there on the mat speaking to the official. It's Michael Millward, our head official, and Jim Ravello helping him out. We're still awaiting a call now. They'll come to the mat. After the review, the call will stand. So no points will be awarded to Vitesse. So to start out the second period, we are scoreless here. Morelli and Vitesse, no riding time advantage for either wrestler as well. And Vitesse will start in the down position.
So after all that, Brandon, no points allowed. We're still 0-0 starting the second.
And you know, they took an awfully long look at that, so it certainly was close. And now it was Vitesse who won the toss in his favor. He chose the bottom. That's what the stoppage was there. The official just talking to the scorer's table. And now Morelli working away, working on Vitesse, doing a good job here, just trying to flip him, get him onto that shoulder. Now Vitesse flips to his stomach. Morelli still on top, nearing 20 seconds of riding time.
As Vitesse, the walk-on, who joined the Spartan squad last season, now back into the starting rotation at 165. You see Morelli doing a great job so far on top, not letting Vitesse get to his feet and be able to separate his hands.
And Vitesse escapes. He'll get 1 point. He now leads 1-0. 1:10 left to go in the second period of this bout, although 45 seconds of riding time have accumulated in Morelli's favor. Again, Penn State in the blue singlets, Penn State lettering in white with the Nittany Lion logo on the back. Michigan State green and white singlets with the Spartan logo on the front. A stall warning is now called on Vitesse. 50 seconds left to go in the second period. And Morelli will get a point here. No takedown called yet as Vitesse struggles for control. Now 35 seconds left in this second period.
You see Morelli really holding on to that right leg of Vitesse, not trying to let him get around to his back and get those 2 points. So good job of Morelli there to get that stall and get back in the neutral position. You see Vitesse getting back to his feet there and just doing a good job severing the hands, getting his balance back, and getting that first escape point.
Stalemate was called, and now we'll get a stoppage. The official looking out for that right leg of Vitesse. And again, that was a third time. It was head coach Tom Minkle in his 25th and final year with the Spartans. Just before that stalemate was called, Coach Minkle was looking for takedown points. Both wrestlers to their feet now. And the end of the second period comes. Both wrestlers tied at 1:45 seconds of riding time in favor of Morelli. So this one will come down to the wire. The Nittany Lions lead 21-3. The lone loss came at 1:41. Javier Gasca and a 6-2 win by decision. At the time, that made the score 10-3, and then it was Rutherford with a tech ball for the Nittany Lions and Jason Nolf with the pin. At 2:02 to put the Nittany Lions ahead 21-3. So 1:45 left to go in this third period. Morelli leads 2-1. He gets the quick escape point. 39 seconds of riding time in Morelli's favor.
Grant, this is here why Morelli is so tough to defeat, because once he gets that lead, he is very good defensive, holding his legs out, making sure that the legs out is very disposed. When it's a takedown out, he's still being aggressive. I like to see that from Morelli. They're really trying to put his mark on the match here and just kind of take it by the hands.
Morelli now working on top. His riding time is above 50 seconds now, nearing a minute. 1:10 left to go in the third period, as Morelli continues to work on top of Vitesse. Now 1 minute left in the third period. The crowd is giving some ovation to Morelli as he continues to work now. Some groans starting to come as they might be looking for a stall warning here on Vitesse.
Both wrestlers right now just kind of, not waiting it out, but just kind of milking some of the clock. As you see, Morelli keeps looking up at the clock, seeing how much time is left, doing enough just to not warrant a stall warning, but making sure that he can't give Vitesse any way to get up. And he just tries to ride him out of here and try to close out this victory.
Morelli continues to ride out Vitesse. 20 seconds left to go in this third period. Morelli leads 4-1 over 1 minute and 45 seconds now of riding time in his advantage, so he'll have an extra point there. Now a stall is called on Vitesse, so a point now for Morelli. He leads 5-1. 5 seconds now left in this third period. And as the third period expires, Morelli gets a quick 2 more points. Gets the 8-2 victory, win by decision for Gino Morelli. Puts the Nittany Lions now up ahead 24-3.